There, fine. I guess I have to sit facing it this way. I don't remember this being this hard before. Do you? Look, I'm just talking to myself now, but yeah, that's fine. Somebody's gonna watch this back and go, what the hell is wrong with this guy? And then nobody will know. Nobody knows. Because nobody's watching. Nobody. Oh, there's somebody. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, you're gonna have to bear with me, bud. We're still fixing down there. There we go. Yeah. Pro right here. 7 years doing this. Can you believe it? Let's see what happens when I click on this, because I need to get into there. I used a thumbprint. Not much, just kind of getting this thing set up. I'm trying out more than once a week, so we'll see what's going on. I'm just checking the sound. There we go. All right, we'll wait a few minutes and then we'll get going. Helps when you can see me. Being able to see people is part of the fun. There we go. Big Creek University. Nice name. How long have you had that one? Hey, Dave. How's it going? Just so you know, and I'll put it in the chat, my name's actually Joe. You can feel free to call me either. Well, we're just getting going, Dave. I'm at home. You can tell because this is more like my home. You can call me whatever. Yeah. It's better than, what was it, Sunday when I started doing a live stream and I set the live stream to go public and then I forgot to make it public. That was really funny. What's my take on the Shadow MR920 Elite gun? Jumping right into it, I see. In general, I like the Shadow System stuff. Shadow System and Stag are actually owned by the same parent company. They're decent. I do have a problem with their fitment, like the way that they fit the mags to the guns. They're a little bit loosey-goosey for my taste, but if it's like an AK, rattle means reliable. I'd F with it. I don't know if I can cuss. So there's a few of you guys in here. Are they mom or billet? Well, all depends on how you treat it. The TPR or the TRP operator is billet. The standard operator, I think, is MIM. It's a $1,300 gun, so it's 50-50 chance. I can look that up in a minute. But before we get going, especially to you guys, because I get asked this every live stream, so I'm going to say it. Can't show firearms on this channel during a live stream. So just keep that in mind. We can talk about them all you want. You can ask me all the questions, but I can't physically show a firearm in my hands on the live stream. If I had one mounted on the wall, that'd be fine. Or if we were showing one, like if I decide to start doing screen sharing, if I actually get into this live streaming stuff and I start showing firearms on screen, then we'll be able to do it that way. But for now, I just don't show any firearms. I'm also watching a couple of auctions, so if I'm clicking through, you'll know why. Hopefully I don't get outbid. Sons of bitches. So, I can tell you real quick though. And this isn't just firearms. Feel free to ask me anything. I have a wide variety of general knowledge. Trying to find a more current one. 2021. Let's see if that says anything about it. The older ones had MIM slide stops and safeties, but I'm looking here to see if they're saying how much of it's MIM'd. Apparently the Pro is full billet. Backstory, weatherproof stainless steel chassis. Being heated, high degree. Looks like they're hand fitted. Let's see. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Yeah, the older ones had MIM in them. It doesn't really say, and it keeps on trying to get me to sign up for ads, so no. I'm also sitting here with my legs up, so if I'm not moving around too much, well, I don't move around much anyways, but if I do look like I'm sitting at a weird angle, it's because my legs are elevated. Best optics. If we're talking pistols, I'm a big fan of the Hollow Suns for budget stuff. I've had a few Swamp Foxes. I like Swamp Foxes. I haven't really messed with like the Burris Fast Fires, but I heard those are really nice. And I've had a couple of Vortex Venoms, but I had the older ones where you have to actually remove your rear sight to lock in the elevation and windage. So I don't know how those actually work, but we'll see. In terms of rifle optics for my AR-15s, I run primary arms ACSS reticles. I have a 4-power, fixed 4-power on my 16-inch gun. And then for my pistol, I have right now backup irons and a Romeo, excuse me, a Romeo 5 with a magnifier. I was thinking about my buddies. SD 92.0. What? Who? Smith and Wesson 92. What? Smith and Wesson 92. Oh, you mean the 9 2.0? Yeah, I've owned a bunch of them. But if you're talking about like an SDVE or an SD, I don't mess with those. They're junk. Even the expensive ones are kind of junk. There's better options for $300 to $500 out there. I don't do any long distance shooting, so 4-power is more than enough for me, just in case you're wondering. Ask some questions. I was at my local store, Middletown Firearms, Middletown, Virginia. Check them out. And they actually have the new EAA Witness 2311s in stock. They've got the 4.25 and the 5-inch guns in 9. One had the optic on it for like $1,000. Gotta say, I'm not a fan. Feels a little light in the hand. Also, the trigger has an almost fake 2-stage feel to it. So, you know, when you have a 1911, you have your straight pull to the rear because it's on a bow and it just clicks. For some reason, the 2311 that they came out with, number one, has a plastic trigger. I'm not sure about the bow, but the trigger, so like the Springfield Emissary has the plastic trigger, but when you pull it back, you get a click, and then it releases, which is stupid, and I don't like it. The 92 FS Inox coating mars very easily. Never owned the Inox. I was going to buy the XI because we had one at the store in Middletown, but somebody wanted buying that before I can get my hands on it. Never really messed with the Inox too much. A buddy of mine has a custom 92 RDO, and my other buddy Alex has the Raccoon City Police Department ones, which I've fucked with. I dislike how that 2011 doesn't have a rear sight when you mount an optic. Yeah, that's kind of crappy. There is a way around it. If you put a suppressor height front sight on it, you can mount an optic like a 507 or even a 407. Anything that has a trench in the rear for co-witnessing, you can actually get them set up pretty easily to use your sights through the optic. So the 507 and the 407 both have a rear sight trench in the back of the optic for that exact purpose, and you can then have a sight, but you have to figure out the right front sight in order to balance it out. Can't show you my buddies. Yeah, no, see, I can't show you anything. I wish I could show you stuff. I really do. Google CMMG Banshee with Springfield. Or excuse me, not Springfield, but Sig Mags. My buddy got one of those recently, and now that the bump stock injunction's fully in place, he can run his stocks. I don't know what people were looking for when they're just clicking in here. Questions or concerns? throw those out there. Things that I might have done wrong in a video that you caught, let me know. What are your guys' plans for Christmas? Because it is coming up on a holiday weekend. I won't be doing a video on Sunday, obviously, just because of that. Good. That just saved me $10. But yeah, just let me know what you guys are doing for the holidays, because I'm always interested in that. Oh, I didn't win the Pokemon cards. Thoughts on the PO1? Actually went over this on Sunday. I like the PO1. It's smaller than I carry. I carry full-size firearms. I carry the PO1 Tactical because it's a 4.6-inch barrel versus the 4-inch on the PO1. Honestly, if I'm going to carry a short barrel gun, I'm going to carry something that's got a polymer frame like the PO7, or maybe something in like a words, like a Canic MC9, probably something like that. You know the worst thing to do when you're on a live stream? Would love an AR build video. I'd love to do one, except for YouTube hates ARs. They'll demonetize it instantly. That was the other thing. So I actually brought up the firearms policy because I've had to fight with them, because I've had a couple of different times where I've actually been struck falsely due to the shorts videos. You guys that come here for the long form videos, you guys are actually pretty good about not screwing with me, but shorts content consumers have gotten me in trouble because they're claiming that I'm trying to sell directly to you, like trying to sell my guns to you through the shorts. So I've had to fight with them over that. Because they're that picky on that. So I've had to fight because of that. So if I show you how to assemble an AR, they're going to just shoot their shit. AR-15s are Legos for adults. Just buy complete uppers and lowers and 2 pins, put them together. Now I got a potato chip in my tooth. Okay, yeah, that's going to annoy the hell out of me. That's really manly. Right on camera. Town's first woman mayor becomes what? Oh, well, that's not good. So, let's see. What else do we got going on in the gun world? You see that new Kimber that they're saying is as good as a Glock? I'm going to be very interested in seeing that one. But yeah, back to the M&P 9 2.0 question. Yes, I've had 3 first generations and a couple of second generation guns. I like the second generation guns because they actually put a metal reinforcement inside of the frame for the generation 2 guns, which makes them a little bit stiffer. If you run like a tungsten guide rod and a weapon light, then you have a very flat shooting handgun. Ask me anything, guys. Ask me something. Ask me something. I'm here for you. Even if it's something silly. Sold my PO1 and 92 FS. It feels like selling your kids. Less paperwork to sell your kids. I also work in a gun store. Not a fan of Kimber. I've seen many Kimbers come screwed up right out of the box. I don't know what's happened with Kimber recently. They came out with that, what was that, the K6 revolver, and then they started coming out with their Micro 9s, and it's like they just kind of lost the plot. I have several Kimbers that are 100% reliable and have been 100% reliable right out of the box, including my Warrior, my original Warrior, not a Warrior 2. Warrior 2s have Series 80 internals. The Series 1, or the original, don't. I prefer Series 70 internals because pure feel, but I've also got the Arctic lightweight, the aluminum frame one. They even cut the frame to make sure that it wouldn't buckle when it's being fired, and they all seem to run fine. But I also tune my guns, so that might be another reason. Is it possible to put a longer hunting barrel on a Mossberg 590 with a 20-inch barrel? Yeah, I believe you can change out that barrel. I think they even go to a 26-inch. Pretty sure they do. Let's see here. Somebody built a. Let's see. As you mentioned, 835 barrels will work with the correct light tube. So if you get a Mossberg 835 barrel, it should work. You can go out to 24 inches. Yeah, but you got to do some hunting because you got to make sure the tube is the right one. Or you can just go and buy another gun that's actually set up for it. Trade in your 590 and get a 940 tactical or a JM Pro. They're like $1,000, and you can get the longer barrel, 26 or 28-inch barrel, semi-auto with the optics cuts on them. You could put a reflex sight on it and run the hell out of it. Gun shops here in California tend to not recommend entry-level Kimbers. Yeah, I am surprised Kimbers are even on the register. I know a lot of guns like my Springfield operator was not on the register. My Rock Island wasn't on the register. A couple of my guns actually weren't on the register, so I'm surprised Kimber is. Well, that makes sense. I don't want to buy a Staccato because they're only in 9s. I'd rather get an old STI Edge or an STI Eagle, which is the same basic company back before they switched names, and those you can get in 45. The TSOS 1911s are fine. You just got to make sure you get a more modern one. If you get the older ones, some of those have a problem feeding hollow points. A brand I would actually avoid, although I had luck with my Moxie, but the ATI 1911s, they have a real problem with feeding hollow points. Keep checking on stuff, yo. Why would Spoon eat? Yeah, whatever. You guys are lovely. Hey, you guys want to get into politics? You want to talk about Trump? I don't. Let's see who's also screwing up in the gun news today. Yeah, helps if I type right. I'm going to steal news from other sources. Army to field new rifle, machine gun, and optic in 2024. So all that SIG stuff looks like it's going into the field starting next year. That'd be cool. No, I'm just watching stuff here. Oh, did you see Biden? Biden's father, the Alcimeric tomato. Actually, he's a potato. Trump's the tomato. But yeah, Biden's finally going up on his charges. He's got lawyers trying to defend him for his 2A stuff. Well, here's the problem, Wyatt. You say you'd like Remington bring back the Para Ordnance 1911s. I'm not sure if Remington actually owns the Para name anymore, because it was actually Freedom Group that owned Para Ordnance and Remington at the same time. And they killed Para Ordnance in 2016 because they came out with the R1 Enhanced, which was just a Para Ordnance in Remington clothing. And if you look at a lot of the first releases of the Remington R1 1911s, they actually have Para Ordnance LPA rear sights on them. So I'm not sure who actually owns the rights to Para Ordnance, if it's the company who bought Remington or if it's actually even available for sale. I don't have the ability to show you, but I just picked up a Para Ordnance double stack P14 Canadian frame. If you recall, Para actually started in Canada, and they were one of the first major manufacturers to do a double stack 1911, but they sold just the frame, and you had to build the gun out. And it's got a really nice trigger in it, a really crappy beaver tail on it, and a Taylor's Tactical Basic GI slide on it. So I'll be building that up. What's up from South Florida? Gators chasing you? Excuse me. Another live, nice. Yeah, I figured I'd try a couple a week, see what happens. Believe it or not, it's a little bit easier than sitting here and editing stuff. You know, because when you have a $4,000 water-cooled computer and you use it to play Candy Crush. Yeah, no idea. I know Remington got pieced out and sold. No idea. Stated they were cool pistols, though. Yeah, they were. Actually, you know, that's why I like these, because they bring up interesting things that I like to learn about. Who owns Para Ordnance now? So, firearm blog from, nope, that was from 17. That was a lie. Let's see, does anybody remember Para Ordnance? What happened? Let's see. The name was retained by Remarm. P12, P14, when Remington absorbed Para Ordnance, they took over the factory in North Carolina. My dad had a P14. I love how nobody's actually answering the question. We'll go right over to here. Yeah, the brand has been dead since 2015. So they're not saying who owns it, and they're not saying if they're going to do anything with it. It's just dead.
It's dead. Oh, it's so bad.
Had a blacked out Para back in the day, was so-so. They get a lot of hero worship now that they've been gone. I had one of their Elite Customs, and it was a good gun, but the front fiber optic was too small. But all 1911s, even high-end ones, can require some tunings, depending on what you're doing with it. I think anything under Freedom Group, they're cute. Yeah. No, Freedom Group is what Chiappa is now. Chiappa is smarter, though. Chiappa buys companies, puts their name on their products, and then sells them. And Freedom Group, for some reason, tried running every gun manufacturer that they bought. And this is the only time that you're going to hear me say anything positive about Chiappa, because as far as I'm concerned, Chiappa is one of the worst companies out there, and I'm surprised they're still putting their name on stuff. But Chiappa does not actually design or manufacture a single firearm. The Rhino is a stolen design. They bought a company because they liked the way the gun looked, and they sell them under the Chiappa brand. Their Badgers are just rebranded. They're made by another company. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. What happened to the Car PM9 Covert Full Grip? It just disappeared. Mostly problems with federal laws. It's like the Glock suitcase PDW that went nowhere. Same problem. Hello from Fairfax County. Hey, Fairfax County, how you doing over there? I gotta come out your way sometime. You got my micro center over there. Yeah, the Warthog was the Para Ordnance small gun. Rock Island makes that now. It's actually sorry, my camera's touching my chair, but Rock Island makes the 3.10 BBR, it's called, and it's actually my most watched gun video. If you go to my homepage, you'll see it on there. It's like 240,000 views. I filmed it because it was an idiotic gun, and I thought it was hilarious, and yeah, that kind of started the whole growth last year. BFR's cool. I've not handled all. I've held one of their 4570 revolvers, but I've not fired one, and I want to be able to fire one soon. So hopefully one of my buddies will get one, because I can't afford one. Why am I off screen now? There we go. Here, stop moving. Sorry, I got 3 computers sitting next to me, and they're kind of in the way. So there you That's professionalism right there. Somebody should super chat me. Boom, 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 boom. But car at least manufactures their own lineup of guns. Going back to that whole where I was talking about how Chiappa doesn't manufacture any of their guns. Car at least manufactures their own line of guns. Yeah, they bought Magnum Research, they bought Auto Ordnance, so they own the Tommy gun brand, and they own 3 other gun manufacturers, I believe. But at least they manufacture a line of guns on their own. So unlike some of the other companies that just, like I said, put their name on something that they didn't build, it's almost like how Springfield seemed like they were going to get rid of the 1911 and just run with their Croatian crap. I call it crap, but it's actually good stuff. The Echelon's a really good gun. Opinion on 5.7 handguns. The ammo's too expensive. The use case for them, they're not good self-defense guns, despite what people say. I mean, yeah, you shoot somebody with them, it's going to hurt, but you can probably... I mean, you can't hunt with them. You can't carry high-capacity ones unless you have a concealed carry. So, at least in the state of Virginia here, if you have less than... if you don't have a concealed carry, you got to carry less than 20 rounds. So, I'm not a huge fan of the 5.7. Am I running a DDR5 or 4 platform? That is a DDR5. It is a Core i9 12900K, 32 gigs of G-Skill DDR5 and a 4080. Because, you know, it's the only way you can play Starfield. Yeah, I play Starfield. Mainly because it's Fallout 4 in the future. How do guys swear cars are more reliable than Glocks? I can tell you one thing, they're harder to rack than a Glock. Holy shit. We had a PM45 come in, and I was sitting here trying to rack it back, and I got bad nerve damage, but I can rack almost any gun, and this thing was just like, no. Also, unless you get a metal frame, they have plastic guide rails. The rails that the slide rides on are plastic on the 9mm. Not sure about the 45. Better off with 22 Magnum. I like 22 Magnum. If you get a nice 22 Magnum round, you can do some work with that. And it's the same size bullet, and it's actually blunter because it's a stubbier round. It's not as pointy. 22 Magnum is not designed to penetrate soft body armor like the 5.7 is, so I can see why people would actually prefer the Magnum. If you want an even crazier like mix of the two, get 22 Hornet. Much harder to get your hands on, and there aren't a whole lot of guns that shoot it, but if you can, that is a hell of a way to go because you get a hell of a punch out of a 22 Hornet. Check out Demo Ranch. He did one with the revolver, and the thing went through everything. You should have a PC gaming channel also. No, I don't want to live stream gaming because I don't game with anybody. I don't game online. My nerves are so bad I can't compete with kids these days. I have actually 17H Mach 2 is really cool. But I do have a tech channel that I don't really do much with. I've been trying to rebuild it, but I mean, hold on, I'll show you something here. Yeah, I wear headphones when I use my computer, but like, like, you know, when you have whole ass ITX computers laying around, I got 2 systems sitting over there, just all kinds of stuff. I got my Quest 2, you know, so I do a little bit of everything with tech. And I also have a really squeaky chair. But yeah, that channel is hard to do because I don't like to edit. And I don't want to pay somebody to edit my videos. There we go. Professional. Okay, I got one for you. Would you put the Taurus G3 Tactical through the NATO test 50,000 rounds? It wouldn't pass it. It's gonna break. Trigger will be the first thing that breaks on the Taurus. That double strike capable trigger that they put in there will break. It's been the #1 thing that when I was selling guns for the last 5 years, when a Taurus G2C, G3C, G3, any of those came back, it was always because they were breaking the triggers because of the double strike capabilities. Not sure if it's just because of the way it's set up, but yeah, that was the #1 problem with the G series. That said, I would carry one. I could trust it out to 100 to 500 rounds with no problems. But I'm also one of those guys where I don't do torture tests on my guns. I mean, I throw them. They spend more time in the air than a jumbo jet, but I don't torture test my guns. I don't run them for 5,000 rounds without cleaning them because I know what's going to happen. I don't know why people think that that's something that's a mystery. Drain the oil out of your car and drive it. See what happens. It's going to break. Hey, Joe, finally got your Dan Wesson Classic. You should have told me you were looking for one. Could have gotten you one, Ryan. I mean, I threw it at the range, but, you know, you like scratches. You got to teach me how to weld, by the way. I haven't done any welding yet. Yeah, the Dan Wesson Bobtail's beautiful. What's your thoughts on the TSUS 1911 Raider? Local shop to me has a used one. They're selling for $600. Been looking for a tactical 1911, thinking about getting it this weekend. I only spent a little bit of time with one before I quit my other job. It needs tuning. Now, TSUS and Gerson are like in competition with each other to see who can copy a gun faster. And at this point, at this time, I would spend a little bit more and get a used Colt, a used Springfield, a good. All of a sudden, my brain stopped. Nobody else makes guns apparently, but yeah, I would spend a little bit more. And if you're going to reliably carry it, I would spend more. If you just want one because it looks like an M45, you can't fault you. Stick with your CZP 10F. Yeah, I sold mine. Wish I didn't. I sold it because I bought my Dan Wesson DWX back and then I sold it. Ryan, you've probably seen it in the store. I sold it back again. Yeah, I like the P10F. I had the one with the threaded barrel and the optics cut. Joe, can I use my friend's broken-in slide on my brand new barrel and receiver? For which gun? Which gun, Dave? It all depends on what you're running. My Para Ordnance, I was running the TAC 2 Ultra slide on mine, but I had to use the original barrel that was in it. 163,000 subs, by the way. Thank you guys so much for that. That makes me giggle. Bull barrel, no. What did I miss? Virginia Beach, happy holiday. Happy birthday to you, Mikey. Sorry, I like to read these. Bull barrel, no. Is the Raider a bull barrel? I didn't think the bull barrel was in the Raider. Thank you, Google. Oh, did I shout out Google? Oh, if you guys really want to get pissed off, make sure you check out the video where I compare an FNX9 to a high power because they're the exact same gun. No, the TSUS 1911 is not a bull barrel. That's a bushing in the front, unless I'm missing something here. The Bantam looks cool. It's got a staccato style cut on it. You guys haven't seen that, Google that real quick. It's basically just a FDE B45 with the grips. I'm winning stuff. Yeah, bushing. P320. Well, yeah, P320 is a pretty interchangeable system. It was designed that way on purpose. It was made for U.S. military use, so you can rip those apart. It's like the early 1911 guns. They're what's called garbage pail guns or bucket guns. They originally, when the 1911 was being considered, they took a bunch of them, tore them all apart, threw the parts in buckets, and then they just randomly reassembled the guns. The 320s are very forgiving in almost the same way. as long as it's the right size. If you have a full-size slide on a compact frame, you're going to get a little bit of nose stick out, but it should still run just fine. The G3 Tactical is a total FN ripoff. I don't know if I agree with that. Because the gun itself is a Glock ripoff. I mean, it's FDE 3-tone, but I mean, Beretta's been doing 3-tone FDE for a long time. I can't really say that it's a FN ripoff because also FN has better quality control. Blu-ray Anarchy, what's up, man? Mikey, what's your thoughts on the SIG 365X macro? It's my favorite 365, but mainly because it's a large gun. I'll say it every time it comes up. I carry full-size guns, and the 17 rounds are very good. My favorite 1911 would probably be the Springfield Operator that Ryan Kuhn. Ryan Kuhn, where are you? Right there you go, Ryan Kuhn 78 right there. He has my Springfield. Wait. You have my Springfield? I don't know who I sold it to. Ahoy, hoy, throwing out a query for you. I know you're partial to pistols and you've handled quite a few. M17 or G47? I'm going to go with the M17 just because the trigger is better than the G47. And the G47 is a gun that's stupid and shouldn't exist in my opinion, just to begin with, because they could have just left the 17 with the extended lower on it, like the Glock 43, Glock 43X48, because that's all the difference is. It has an extended dust cover so it can take a Glock 19 spring so that you can put it on top of a 45 top or a 19 and have a 19L. So I'll take the M17 any day. I know I'm really thinking about getting the DWX, but have you seen the Live Free Armies making a 2011? Yes, I have seen the Apollo 11. That's the one I was actually trying to figure out the name of on Sunday. We were talking about that. Should have been there for that live stream. Buy the DWX. It's a good gun. It's missing 2 mags and some grips, but it's a good gun. Keeps me from buying it back. Put them side by side. Are you on a phone, DB? Down to the carry case. I got mine first day it was released, guy at shop. Thought it was an FN. Lol. Choose one, Glock 19X or CZ-P10F. P10F, brother. Look, I have 7 Glocks. I don't like Glocks. If you put a Glock up against anything that isn't a Chiappa, it's always going to be anything other than a Glock for me. Their triggers are reliable, but trash. You have to put hundreds into them to make them as good as some $400 guns. They're good guns. Absolutely. Trust my life to a 19X, a 17, a 19, 34, whatever you want to put out there. Trust my life to them. I don't like them. I haven't even put my hands on the 49, and I don't think I care. I don't know if this has been asked 100 times already, but what is a preferential gun or top 3? Personally, now, number 1, go to a gun store. Before you start ordering shit online, go to a gun store, put a bunch of guns in your hand, because whatever feels comfortable to you is the best carry gun for you. Just because everybody says, oh, you can put a nano in your pocket, doesn't mean you're going to want to shoot it. Personally, 1911, number 1. Number 2 would be my CZP-10s. Number 3 would be my CZP-01 Tactical. I like full-size guns, CZ-75s, Browning high powers. I like the big guns. I don't care for the small guns because I know I shoot them well. Pappy. Are you the Latino guy that makes the pizzas? Yes, on phone, sitting on beach, no life. Well, if you're sitting on a beach, that's a life, man. I'm sitting on a chair. Let's see how expensive the Apollo 11s are. Oh, I wanted to get a platypus, but I bought the DWX. Why did everybody always type when I'm looking up something else? I'm trying to remember why I liked it and why I didn't. So It's a 2011 style. The problem I have with Live Free Armory, and you know exactly, Ryan, if you're still watching, is the fact that their quality control isn't the greatest. They send out guns with roll pins that just walk themselves out and they don't have an answer for it. Last time I contacted them about one of their guns, they were like, oh, just peen it. Just peen the end of the roll pin so that it's tight. Look, camera. You know you're going to have a problem if you keep on moving. Yep. Yeah, no, the Apollo 11's a good gun. Although, what are they running? How much? Let's see what they're charging. Yes, I'm 21. That's not a bad price, though. Starting at, though. Let's see what happens. 4.9-inch barrel. I mean, that competes with the EAA stuff. Not bad. Boom, 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 boom. 17L is your newest purchase. You like them large? Yeah, me too. I've never had the L. I've had the 34 with a compensator on it, which I think is the same length. I missed it. Did you say P320 slide used okay with new barrel? Yes. Yep. Because of the way they lock up, and as long as it's seated the same way. So just check. I know that some of the 320s have a loaded chamber indicator, and some of them don't. Check that. What's good with these Canics? Worth buying? Maybe resale value goes up. Resale value on a Canic will never go up, or Jonic, if you want to say it the right way. The Canic lineup is originally, if you look at the original guns, it was a licensed Walther P99 clone. So they actually got permission and design spec paperwork from Canic in order to build, or excuse me, from Walther to build their first guns. That's why some of them had the original decocker on top, even the SAs, which made no sense. They've improved over the years. Now they're on the Meta lineup, which kind of looks like a PDP frame. But they're a really good gun, but no, resale's not there. Before I left the other store, we were selling the TP9 SFX, sold one for $375 with its original box and 2 mags. So, you know, the resale will always stay low, but that's a good thing. The gun is not expensive, but it's very good. Best striker fired trigger. If you're looking to get into striker fired guns, starting there will ruin other guns for you. Especially guns like Glocks, Smith & Wessons with their articulated trigger. The Canics have the best trigger, period, for a striker fired gun. Still wouldn't carry one. Do you have a computer in your computer? Well, I have a iFixit kit, and I have a tablet inside of my computer. Ooh, look, there's you. So technically I have a computer inside my computer. And I have extra graphics cards in case I don't have enough graphics, so I can just do that. Look, there, now I can go 4K. And then put another one in there. Now I can go 8K. Yeah, there you go. So we'll do that. People that were here earlier and are now coming back are going to be very confused. Yeah. Do you have any experience with the Walther Colt 1911 and 22? Yes. And it's neither a Walther nor is it a Colt. It's an Umarex. It's built in Germany by Umarex, distributed by Walther, and labeled as a Colt. It's a decent gun. It's not dry fire safe. So you need to make sure that you have snap caps. That's something I should be able to show online. So I've started using, have nerve damage, do stuff. Snap caps. I like these blue aluminum ones because it makes them look completely different from an actual round. But yeah, you need to use those when you dry fire one. 8K, but you seeing in 480p. Where are them glasses at? Dude, I got LASIK 5 months ago. And yeah, my left eye's actually screwed up. I can't read. I can read my screen with my right eye. I can't read it with the left eye. I have to get a revision after the first of the year. Same as GSG. German Sports Group is not made by Umarex, but they are in the same kind of general thing, although Umarex manufactures more 22 long rifle pistols for more companies, I believe, and their quality control is a little bit better. GSG makes a ton of different types of guns, whereas the Umarex name is only on 22s. Umarex does not make a 9mm like GSG does for their UMP clones and all these other clones that they make. Umarex only makes 22 long rifle. Does the same brand make the FN? Yes. The 522 or the 502? Yes. That is also made by Umarex, which is why it's not dry fire safe as well. The Colt, yeah, it's worth $350 because it is quality materials. Like if you put a GSG 1911 up against the Colt Walter 1911, you'll see that the GSG has a different takedown. The takedown is different on the GSG. It's I believe it's, I'm not sure about the new ones, but the older ones were more of a Browning style takedown. It actually had a clip. Not a clip like clip, because that's not really a clip, that's a magazine, but on the other side of the slide lock they had this like U-channel clip that was designed to hold the slide lock in because they didn't have the same swinging link. The Colts are more 1911 accurate. Fixed barrels. Well, I hope they fixed them. No, it all depends on which one you're looking at. Chiappa, obviously they have their 1911 22s. GSG has their 1911 22s. The Walter is not a fixed barrel, I don't believe. Are you getting good benefits working at the gun store? I don't work there anymore. I quit in October due to some differences of opinion on how to run a store when I was supposed to be the store manager and I wasn't allowed to run the store. So yeah, I don't work there anymore, but I did help my buddy set up his store back in 2019, so I still get some benefits as opposed to not working at a gun store. But I also have friends that run pawn shops and things like that, so they actually hooked me the hell up. Let me see. It is fixed barrel. Excuse me. You are right. So I have not messed with it in a while. Good call. Mike asks, thoughts on Smith & Wesson Response? I haven't gotten my hands on one. My buddy had one at his store and sold it same day. As soon as I get one, I will definitely mess with it. Crabtree, what 22 pistols would you recommend? SIG 322. That's a good choice. Taurus TX22. It's a good choice. My buddy runs a competition one in competition, and he's very successful with it. I mean, he's got like $800 into it, but it's a very good competition style 22. I would not recommend like the Beretta, which is an Umarex. I would not recommend the Glock 44 because it's low capacity and the aftermarket mags suck. And it's too much money for the Glock. And so I would say between the two that I would recommend would be the SIG P322 or the TX22. Somebody wants to trade me a Springfield operator for my P320 X5 non-Legion. What's it? Are you asking me what the Springfield is worth? Because the Springfield is probably worth more than the 320 right now if it's just a plain X5. If it's not a Legion, I'd probably say that you'd be getting the better end of the deal if you took the Springfield. What is that? Who's sending me hearts? That's so special. Thank you so much. Ruger 4522s are nice, but they're expensive. Yep. Bull Armory. Bull Armory. Yes, I do like the Mark 45 or the 4522, the Mark 4s. They, especially with the bull barrel, if you get the Scoundrel. Well, that was Texas Silencer Shop, but whatever the my brain just stopped. Silencer Coast 22 can. It actually is the exact same diameter as the Mark IV with the bull barrel. What do I think about Bull Armory? I've answered that before. I think they're a good company. I think their Glock clones are ugly, but Bull Armory in general makes a very good gun. Their 1911s are very nice. I lost all of those. Holy crap. Good for you. But yeah, no, I like Bull Armory. They make some good guns. Poppy asks, got any reading sucks. Do I have any poverty state armory guns? If you're talking about PSAs, I've had daggers. They were fine. I have a couple of lowers, but they're full of expensive parts. Like my truck AR-15 is a PSA Virginia lower because they were trying to get rid of guns in Virginia. So PSA created a bunch of Virginia etched lowers that say 6 Semper Tyrannis. So I have a Franklin binary trigger in that, so it goes 6 Semper Tyrannis to binary. Makes people think it's full auto, and then they freak the fuck out. Ruger 5.7 pistols, good to go. They seem to run fine. I would suggest looking at the Smith & Wesson 5.7 first, or even the PSA Rock. They're a little bit less money. The Smith & Wesson is the same money, but you get a threaded barrel and optics cut right out of the box, versus the Ruger, which is a little bit older, but just as reliable. If you're looking at the FN, the Ruger, or the Smith & Wesson, they're all the same gun. They're all hammer-fired 5.7, I was going to say 5.7 liter because I was in the cars, but they're all 5.7s that are hammer-fired with roughly the same capacity, 20 rounds. The PSA Rock is actually the only one out of all of them that's striker-fired. So if you want to try something different, try the PSA Rock. Also watch, because they have a lot of sales during the June, July months. They did like scratch and dent sales, so we had a bunch of people that were buying slides and frames separate, and for $400 we're getting complete PSA Rocks. So that's something I would try. Wow, a lot of people just came in. Holy shit. I bought the 365X TAC Ops. Just wanted your opinion on whether it's a 365X comp. What? If you didn't get one with a compensated slide, then what you have is a TAC Ops, and the TAC Ops is just 4 magazines instead of 3. What do you think of the Chiappa 22? I hate them. I hate Chiappa. 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 My third gun was a Chiappa. Got 8 rounds out of it. It's in a light shadow box at my office. I shot it with a shotgun and a 30-30. Hey, Jimmy, what spec are the PC, my dude? Picking my new rig up tomorrow. I bought this from Micro Center. It was $400. It's a 12900K with 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM. I have a RTX 4080 for the graphics card and an R9 Fury down there for reasons. If you weren't here earlier, you don't know. It's a good base for the build. Do you not have autocorrect on your phone, DB? It's Joe, not Jimmy. You can call me whatever you want. I've used the nickname Jiminy since I was a kid. If you go way back, if they ever were to bring like Poker Stars back when you could actually have a username without a number after it, Jiminy was always my username on everything. That's awesome. What do you think about the Prodigy? Bought the 5-inch, had to polish it up a lot. That's where I was going to go with it. Seems like a decent gun. If you get them at street price, $1,350 to $1,400, you're doing okay. You're going to put a few $100 into them, but you're still going to be like $800 less than a Staccato. And I would recommend spending the extra money and getting the Prodigy over the 2311 from EAA right now, based on the few minutes I spent with one. It has more better parts than the EAA right now. Oh my God, what the hell? Where's my... I'm seeing a lot more stuff on there than I am in here. Oh, there we go. I'm not getting my refreshes fast. Take on the Stoger STR 9 40 cal. I don't really screw with 40 cal. Just not my preferred caliber. It's fine. It's fine. I'd rather have a 10 mil, but it's fine. I have large, thick thumbs. Me too. So you love Chiappa like you love Kimber. Yeah, well, you know, it is what it is. What do you think of the FNH FNS series of pistols? Well, the H stood for hammer, S stands for striker. I had the FNX up until I just traded it for a 1911 on Monday. Tuesday? Friday? I don't know what day it is, but I traded mine for one. The FNH, I prefer the FN series, the FNH, FNS, FNP, FNS long slide. I prefer all of those over the new 5 series because the grips are so thin on them. If you actually get the 510, when we first got the 510s in, you could take the 510 grip and squeeze it shut at the magwell. That does not bode well for warm temperature use or hot temperature use. So yeah, that could have been really bad. More better. Fun scenario. You got only $500 to $600 to buy a gun. What are you choosing? $500 to $600 gun. It's actually a lot of money still. If you want to go with a striker fire gun, I would recommend a Canik. I would go with the Canik SFX or a Meta Pro. I had one. It's optics ready, threaded barrel. So, you know, those of us that have suppressor, you can't see it because I can't show it. But suppressor ready, optics ready, great trigger. 1911, you're going to be forced to go with something like a T-Sauce or a used 1911. Glock, I would probably just run like a 45 and throw some night sights on it, or get a used 19 with a optics cut. The FN 545 is sweet. They're decent. They're decent, but the construction feels cheap, and the price didn't come down to match the cheapness. So they went cheap, but left the price up. So when you do that, things have problems. Now people that are coming in here are not going to know what the hell's going on, and I don't care. Anyway, I go Beretta 92. Yep, good choice. Beretta 92 is a great choice. I've had a few of those. I actually hate all you want. I actually like the Beretta or the Taurus 92 better because of the frame mounted safety, which is why I would also go with the not the Gerson, but the T-Sauce, not the T-Sauce, which is the other company that makes a 92 clone. So you got Taurus with the frame mounted safeties, you got Gerson. I thought there was another one. Maybe I'm just going losing my mind. Or an XI. FFN. See, I don't know what you're trying to... FN is like HK, overpriced everything. Yes, but you can get good deals on used ones. I paid like $370 for that FNX9. Are the PSA dagger frames a good buy? As long as you got the rest of the parts to put the gun together. If you have a slide laying around, sure. It's a trigger. It's a Gen 3 gun. You can put any Gen 3 parts in it. So, yeah, if you can get one cheap, buy one. Buy one and just run it. Run the shit out of it, dude. Never be embarrassed about what you have, too. I've got a 22 revolver, a Burgo. I paid like $80 for it. It's an 8-shot with a swing-out cylinder. I love that thing. It's got the best trigger I've ever felt in a revolver, too. I'm making a video on it. Come back for that. But yeah, I like the frame safety. That's it. We are done. Daggers half price. G19. I have 3. Yep, that's true. None of your damn business. No, Gerson's not bad. Gerson is just uninnovative. Gerson copies a lot of things. The Negotiator is a Springfield operator clone. The T-Sauce does it too with their Night Shadow or Shadow whatever. Yeah. They can be hit or miss. The MCP 35, the high power that they built, totally underrated gun. It's more accurate to an actual high power than the Springfield. Although Springfield eliminates the magazine disconnect, you can get the op version of the MC35 or the tactical version that releases the mag safety, and it's way more accurate than the FN high power, which is just an FNH with a new body on it. And I did take my FNX when I was buying the other one and compared it to the FN high power. They use the exact same hammer. So literally, the high power from FN that they released this year is an old FNX9 rebodied, which is freaking hilarious. The Gerson Beretta knockoff is nice. Turkish guns, German guns, American guns. Who does it better? What price point? That's a big one. Because if you want to talk money, no option, Nighthawk Custom. But then you got Court over in Europe, and they make the revolvers that are $8,000. If you're talking about duty style firearms, I'm going to throw my hand towards the Czechs. The CZ stuff is probably better than the Glock stuff, in my opinion. The American stuff, the 320s are a good gun, but they don't have the same track record. And I'm not going to go into defense or anger against Glock or SIG for their guns going off. That's another story for another day, another fight for another time. But yeah, I'd probably say the Czechs make better guns. Years ago, got a Gerson, Turkish gun at $1,000. If you're going to go under $1,000, I would probably say probably the German stuff. No, I'm still going to say get the Czech stuff. Get a PO, get a CZ Shadow. You can get a CZ Shadow Blue for $1,000, and you're never going to go wrong with that. I paid, well, I'm not going to say what I paid just in case Ryan's still in here, but I had a Shadow 2, single action only, probably the best trigger I've ever shot, and I got that for, you can get that off of Palmetto all the time for $1,000. Have you ever heard of a cheap 2011? The cheapest 2011 that's currently out there is the EAA 2311. They're calling it a 2311 because another company called theirs the 2311, and they're copying them. But the EAA Gersons are the cheapest ones. They street price anywhere from $900 to $1,000. I would not recommend them. If you want a high capacity 1911 that functions like a 2011 but without the removable grip frame, get a Rock Island. Rock Island double stack 945 and 10 mils have been around for years, and they're just as good. They just don't have removable grip frames, but they're just as tunable. They take all the same parts. Apollo Customs actually builds a Rock Island that's amazing, and it comes in at like $2,200 when it's fully built. I think it's Apollo. It's one of those. Go look up Honest Outlaw. He has one. It's like $2,200, and it will outrun a Staccato. I agree the Gerson high power is nice, feels better than the Springfield. Definitely. And back to that, the Gerson high power has more interchangeability with my actual Browning high power than the S Springfield or the FN. Obviously not the FN because it's not a real high power. I get laughed at by my son for buying a High Point 45 as my first gun, but he loves the way it shoots. What's your take on a High Point? I like it better than Chiappa. High Points, they're cheap, but they don't hide that fact. They came out with the Yeet cannons. They're kind of fun. I had the 10 mil. It ran fine. It's going to run until it doesn't. It's going to run until it breaks. If you own a High Point and you're just putting it on your car, your truck, whatever, make sure you oil it and not just the internals because you got to knock out a roll pin to get them apart, but oil the entire body of a High Point because they're made out of ZMAC. ZMAC is zinc, aluminum, magnesium, and something else, some other combination of metals that's super porous. And if you see all the pictures of broken High Points, they're broken at the ejection port because that's where it's weakest. If you oil the slide, and it sounds absolutely stupid, if you oil the slide, you can avoid that because the metal will stay less brittle because it actually has lubrication in it. Nighthawk Customs are awesome, probably the best you can buy that's still a fighting weapon. Yeah, I've spent some time with them. I think they're amazingly fit. I've never shot long-term one. A buddy of mine had one, and I shot it at the range, and I was very impressed, but I wasn't $4,500 impressed. But that's just because I don't have $4,500 for it. So last year around this time, you were going to order a Nighthawk Custom on your credit card with no interest for 16 months. Could not bring yourself to do it. Yeah, go find a used one. do layaway. A lot of stores, when you spend that kind of money, like at Middletown, when you went over $2,000, you got 6 months to pay for it. So if you can afford $600-700 a month while you're paying down something, that could be a way to go. Then you could actually get what you want for a reasonable price without having to pay 15 to 18 to 30% interest, especially right now with credit card and everybody's credits being tanked because of the current economy. Don't do that shit. Just buy what you can afford, enjoy what you have. CZ is good. They're practically Berettas. I'd probably say that they have a more complete line than a Beretta. I'd probably say they're better. You like the look of the LFA Apollo? I do. I looked up the picture of it. My buddy showed it. I looked it up. It's like $1,000 gun, which is not bad. I actually like that. I still have questions about it because I'm not a huge fan of LFA's quality controls. Them Turks make nice clones from Pot Metal. I'm assuming that's two separate statements. You're talking about the High Point and then the Turks. I have a 22 caliber 1911 Chiappa. It doesn't completely suck. Well, I mean, if you put it in a box and then you tie that box up with string and then you wrap that box in duct tape and then you take that box and you bury it in the backyard in concrete and then you build a house on top of it, there's a chance that house won't explode. Yep, still here, and I still love the Shadow 2 blue on the black. Yeah, you better. That's a great gun. I kind of regret selling that to you now. You want to trade for my 01 Tactical? Oh, wait. I sold you my other 01 Tactical. Oh, I totally forgot about that. If you want to know where all my guns go, ask Ryan. He has more of the guns I've sold than anybody else because I give him good deals. Oh, God. I'm going to tear up. That was... Sorry. I'm not here for your humor. I'm here for mine. Let's see here. CZ Fan Man here. Yep. You and me, buddy. Jimmy likes Chiappa. I'd like to see it go to the bottom of the ocean and stay there. Oh, I did put up the video for the FNX9. There it is. 500 views. Any plan to expand into rifles or shotguns, or will you just end up the wandering AR disease like Hop, where you can keep the same AR-15 for more than a year, where you can or you can't? My main AR-15, my PSA with the Virginia and the Franklin binary trigger and the unique AR uppers, by the way, unique ARs, thank you. They sent me an upper, and I got to make more videos on them. I want to get into long distance shooting, but I need somebody, a cameraman. I need better equipment. I need somebody that can edit the videos to make them look good enough. When it comes to pistols, I can just set up a tripod and shoot. So I wouldn't mind getting into rifles and long guns, but also I don't like them as much as other people. I've got several that are vintage and gifts, but that's about it. Hop is cool and funny. He rebuilds his rifles. See, I do that with my handguns. My AR-15, I'll take it apart and clean it. I've changed a few parts, charging handles, uppers, things like that. But in general, I don't really do that. Although I'm working, I need to actually, Daniel, if he ever watches this, I need to go down to his store because Texas Silencer Shop went out of business. And everybody that ordered suppressors through Texas Silencer Shop is stuck with them. So most of them are selling them at cost. So if you have a gun store in your area, you're not alcohol, but if you have a gun store in your area that deals with class 3 stuff, go in there and ask them if they have any Texas Silencer Shop suppressors in there, because they're not going to be warranted anymore, and you got to make sure you get one that's serviceable, but you can usually get them at or just above cost. And I'm going to get the 30 cal can, and I'm building a 7.5 inch 300 blackout with an 8-inch suppressor, but it'll have a 15.5 inch handguard, so just the tip of the suppressor will stick out, and it will be an SBR. So that'll be cool. I'll film you. You need bud. Okay, that's not creepy at all. I'm gonna put that one down to your finger slipping there, buddy. It's getting late and the crazies are coming out. Mark III firearms. Let's see what they do. So they do AK stuff, K9. For attempting to create some violent, I'd appreciate it. I really messed with them. Let's see, they got a Facebook page. Huh, that's pretty. So they rebuild some guns too. So that was a Prodigy. No sales. We don't do sales. You can send stuff in, but we don't show. Their stuff looks good. Mark III. I mean, I do most of my own work, so I would never send one in unless I needed like the slide cut for an optic. I got a rifle in a box. Order parts, deals, one on sale, and toss parts in a box until rifle is ready to build. There you go. Yeah, I know. I'm just messing with you. Also, I'm allergic to scented lotions, so no perfumes. Hello, Dale from Wenatchee, Washington. You did that to mess with me, didn't you? Wenatchee, Washington. Wenatchee? Wenatchee? Wenatchee. Wenatchee. Why not? Why not Chi? Wenatchee. Gotcha. English. Yeah, I suck at it. Some days my Korean heritage comes through and I just want the, oh no, mispronounce all the words. Answer. What? Wait, I miss. What did I miss? I keep missing things. Barbecue. What are these things? What are these little heart thingies? Oh, I can click on it too. Look. There's little heart thingies going up my right there. I don't know what that's about. You think I never live streamed before? Thank you. I have no idea what that is. Do I owe myself money now? It's stupid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 alarms. That's a big fire. It's a big fire, DB. Oh, shit. All right, so let's talk about something else here. Should I get an 0702? Okay. Are you drinking on the beach? Staring contest. I have a lazy eye, though, so I'm still reading over here. Swamp Fox, question mark. Yes, exclamation point. Me likey. Aw, Frank. That's just sad. If you're in Iowa, I can understand why. I think Pornhub, you have to actually have a VPN to get in Iowa. I can't look here. We're in Virginia. That's the reason I'm not going to look up porn. Hello, folks. Hello, Zaxxon. You're Zaxxon. We have a Zaxby's. I'm not a smartass. You're reading too much into it. I'm not a huge red dot guy. I got a Swamp Fox to play with. It's decent for $150. Yeah. Swamp Foxes are decent. Crimson Trace is okay. Their adjustability, like, it doesn't click. It just kind of turns. And they don't really have a good locking system on their lower priced ones. So I don't really recommend the Crimson Trace stuff. Although it's funny because the DVG1, by the way, there's a guy that leaves me a message every time I do a video. Day 714 of asking for a Sky DVG1. I don't want to buy a DVG1. But they do a Crimson Trace specifically for Sky that has a rear trench, and I've mounted them on other guns, and they work. So if you're looking for cheap ones, and you can get a Sky for like $125, they're bowling. I would recommend one. They're inexpensive, and they work. Wife, what are you doing? Me, hanging out with Jimmy. Well, as long as you don't tell people that your Jimmy's hanging out. You should check out the Ruger fixed red dot for $99. Is that the micro red dot, like the Sig does? Is that the Ready dot or whatever it is? Yeah, that's very much like the Romeo Zero. I'm sure if you're just looking, dude, that's hilarious. I'm looking at Ruger's web shopruger.com, and if you're on a computer, go over to your computer and look up the Ready Dot. The picture looks so shitty. Why does it look like that? That's ridiculous. Why would you take such shit pictures? It looks like the battery terminals are rusted. That's how you sell parts. CT light on impulse buy, wasn't impressed. Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of those. Yeah, fiber optic. Oh, is that what that is? Is that a fiber optic filament? It looks like shit. I mean, if it works. God damn. Come up with a more. They should have put it on the top like they do for HoloSuns. That just looks stupid. How do y'all feel about just having a dedicated red dot instead of like co-witness on a pistol? How do y'all feel about just having a dedicated red? I'll be honest, like the Glock Frankenstein that I built, the Gen 3 45 that I built out of a 19 and a 45 and a 26 and a slide, that one did not co-witness. You can if you really have to. But I think, especially if you're just getting into shooting, you should practice with your irons, practice with your red dot. Once you're proficient with both, then you can figure out how to co-witness. Because I see a lot of people, like I had a guy argue with me. We bore-sighted his gun, but he was so bad at shooting a red dot that he couldn't figure out how to co-witness, and he kept saying that it was off because the man was trying to put it in the wrong spot. It's bore-sighted. Figure it out. Yo, man, I like yo vids. They're cool and funny. I don't know why I just did it with that. When I saw the yo, I just, yo, what up? They're cool and funny a bit. Well, not gonna lie, you had me in the first half. Good night. Step away from the red dot. Huh? You're going to bed? It's like 8 o'clock. With the red dot on a pistol, you will have height overbore issues, so you have to zero point of impact, point of aim. Yeah. Do I make range videos? I did a lot more when I first started because it was usually me and Daniel, my buddy that owns Liberty Arms with his father. We would go to a range and we would shoot. We would just have fun. Like the very first time we went out there, we were shooting quarters at 20 yards just for fun. My first time shooting. That was a fun experience. But I really haven't done much in the way of that because A, my physicalness kind of went downhill after 2017. And two, editing. I'm going to bring everything back to editing. When I nearly died, apparently I damaged my brain. When you lose that much blood, stuff happens. So I don't have as much patience for editing as I used to. And it annoys me. So I tend not to do it. Plus, I'm so used to filming on my couch, one takes, that I prefer to do those. Oh, the guy with the red dot issues. Okay, that makes sense. If you want to listen to somebody that can help you learn to shoot red dots correctly, he's very blunt, but Overton Windex. He does a lot of shorts that I've watched. He's very direct. He's very blunt. He says what he thinks, but he does it the right way. So I'd say give him a look if you want to really learn how to shoot red dots. I've only been shooting for 7 years, so it's not like I'm an authority on anything. I know that the little squirty things go that way. Not much, Richard. What's up with you? Just sitting here, having fun, talking to the peoples, seeing what's going on. I found out that if I clicked on like the face thing, it shows up on this. There it is. Shows up on the screen, or the party thing. Yeah, or the what the fuck, and the one hundos. Yeah, I don't know what to do. Oh, I can go right to your channel. Let's see what happens if I go right to your channel. Ha ha ha. Now I'm going to be looking at everybody's because I'm a creep. Let's see who's got more subs than me. Oh, yeah. Who killed Yager? Jaeger died. If you're talking about James. What's the conversation just joined? It's random, dude. Whatever you want to talk about. I don't even remember what we were talking about red dots and how if you want to learn the right way to shoot it, I'm not the right guy. I shoot mostly irons and I do shoot some red dots and I'm proficient with red dots, but I'm just a plinker and most of my training is self-defense. So I never go back farther than like 35 yards. Honest Outlaw is another one. So he's really good at red dots. I'm not. Windex is a jerk professionally, but he's also usually right. So there is that. Yeah, like I said, he's blunt. He says how he feels, and you either take it or you don't. He actually left me a message on one of my videos because right after I got a strike, he's like, I've never had to get a review done. Well, it turns out that's because people are assholes and cause the problem. But now that doesn't happen to me anymore. Green dot or red? I pick red better. Or you pick up. I don't pick up English gooder. Me, I'm wording for eyeball reading. You pick up green better. Reloading. Front sights, I pick up green fiber optic better. Red dots, I pick up red dots better. Does that make sense? It's a little weird, but it does. Guns, and more guns 2024. I'm not changing my whole thing. If you were a member, you'd see there's 2 other videos that are just sitting there in the queue. Members only. You get early access. I batch film on Saturday, Sundays, and early Monday mornings. Typically Monday mornings. I get up at like 4, film like 5 videos, and I throw them into the members only section. All I know is I have stigmatism in both eyes, but you love shooting red dots. You can get LASIK. It's very expensive, and your vision sucks afterwards. I mean, I can read that, but yeah, my night vision sucks. My day vision sucks. I can't see up close anymore. It was $4,000. Could have had a Nighthawk Custom and a pair of glasses. Thanks for getting me angry. Oh, God, my words. Why am I getting notifications sooner on the phone than I... Oh, it's because this has got a delay. It's got a delay. Anyways, yeah, let's see. What's another good red dot that I would recommend to you guys? I don't recommend the Romeo Zero because of the plastic construction, and you can get that one. Oh, anybody else out there own fake hogs? Like when I put a fake hog on a Desert Eagle and everybody got mad at me. I didn't know. Leave me alone. The QR code scanned out right. So, let's see if the platypus is available. And we're like, what, 8 to 10 weeks out? I like the stealth gray. Oh, God, that's just so pretty. I would just buy it just like that. Starts at $1,600. But my DWX was $2,000, so it's not like it's that much money. Let's go. We go tactical, yeah. Trigger guard squared off because, you know, why not? Okay, grip size. Why is it grip size small? Full length, dust cover. Do we want finger grooves? Nope. Slide style. Ooh. Ew. Ooh. There we go. Skeletonized, short straight. There we go. Short straight trigger. Let's see. I'm going to do the hollow sun cut. I'm building a gun. I want to see how much it costs. Let's go with some tall sights since I have suppressors. Go with the threaded barrels. Oh, you can't buy one in New York, Washington, California, Connecticut, or Illinois. Mag funnel, yeah. Thumb safety, standard. Ooh, competition only. Competition only. All right, let's see what happened. So I built the platypus, and it's $1,770 with the red dot. That's cheap. Holy shit. Sorry. I get caught up in things. All I know is Richard, took me a while to learn dots. Once you can focus on the target and just see a dot and hear the ping, it's like playing a video game. Yep. Ruger Mini 14. Who else got a love-hate relationship with one? I loved mine until I sold it the next day. I was gonna say, should have got the Nighthawk. Yeah. Hold on. Just the way I'm sitting, my ass just fell asleep. Become disabled. It's really fun, they say. Oh yeah. There you go. Knife. I just want random people that are trying to scrub through this video to be like, what the hell is he doing? Let's see. Yeah, $1,700 for a 1911 platypus with the hollow sun, but they aren't in stock. 14 to 16 weeks. Holy shipple. Let's take a look at this guy. This one's in stock. Let's see what happens in stock. Well, it's the same gun. It's just all blacked out. 1,710. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. I see ya. I see ya. Oh, that's so ugly. I love it. Hold on. Can you see that? It's so ugly. I love it. And it's actually not bad. Told you. Professionalism. Nice. What's your take on the Cobra big bore 9mm Derringer? Not a big fan of Derringers. Next door neighbors just moved in from California, said welcome to America, just sold them their first 9mm. What state do you live in, Richard? Or do you work at a store? Asking for a friend. Ellen Thomas Frank. Oh, Utah. Do you have just private sale law still? We lost that here in Virginia. You have to go to an FFL now. We used to be able to just handwrite a receipt and there you go, bud. Can't do that anymore. Now you have to go to an FFL, spend, well, the law in Virginia, which a lot of stores don't actually follow, is private transfer. You can only charge up to $19. But some of them will charge $50 to $75 because they think they can get away with it, and they can because nobody complains about it. You have the only state that still has capital punishment by firing squad. I thought you could pick firing squad. SAR 9 is a good affordable alternative block. They're good. I had one, custom stippled, ran good. I had a couple of misfeeds in it though, and that was with the original SAR mags. But they are, SAR Schmalz in general is a good manufacturer. Jeffrey asks, how long can I store my ammo until it is no longer usable? All depends on how you store the ammo. If you're just keeping it in a hot, damp area, you could wreck your ammo in a week. If you store it in a cool, dry area, away from heat, you're not cycling it in and out of your magazines because sometimes you can deform the casing and push the bullet into the casing. You can store your ammunition for decades. There's Vietnam era 5.56 that functions fine, and you're talking 55 years ago, 60 years ago. a lot of 50 BMG unless you get the Lake City stuff. I've sold World War II BMG ammo that was functioning fine. So it all depends on how you store it. If you store it well, then you're fine. It's like a wine. As long as you keep it corked down wet, you're fine. Not the ammo, the wine. Wine is fine when it's on an incline. Yeah. Hey, by the way, you need to get a Colt M45A1. I missed my chance at one because of hospital stuff. Yeah, they had one at the store, and if I told you what he paid for it, you'd shit yourself. Do you ever try putting a Canic Rival Mag in a CZP07? It actually works well. No, because I've never owned a... No, I've never owned a Rival. As I say, I've owned the Meta S Pro, but not the Rival. Did not know that. Thank you, BBQ. CVA Scout V244. Now you're getting in areas I don't know much about. CVA. I used to sell them at the store, but talking about the single shot. I mean, I'm sure it's fine. It's just a single shot gun. Excuse me. That tasted weird. If you can get them cheap enough. I mean, it's a single shot. Man, that platypus is nice. Sorry, I don't mean to keep talking about that. I'll stop talking about that one. Somebody ordered that and didn't buy it, I guarantee you. Awesome, yes. Well, I mean, it looks fun. 44 Magnum stuff. I would also recommend the Rossi R92 in 44 Magnum if you want something that's a lever gun that's cheaper than a Henry. You're talking $700 to $800 versus sky's the limit. Thank you, Chris Pratt, in your sucky acting. Yeah, the Rossi R92 line is pretty good for 44 Magnum. Have I seen the Netflix Leave the World Behind? No, but I have Netflix. Let's see what it is. Why does it sound like it's going to be something that I've probably seen the ads for? I'm watching Reacher Season 2, so... Oh yeah, the new episode comes out at let's see, is that Julia Roberts? Is it just me, or is she looking more and more like a dead horse? I didn't say play. Go back. Ominous chilling thriller. Let's see, what is it about? A family's getaway to a luxurious rental home takes an ominous turn when cyber attack knocks on the devices and two strangers appear at their door. Julia Roberts, Ethan Hawke, and more. No, I've never seen it before. Is it good? M70, yeah, 7762s. In the 80s, never had a misfire. Yep. Is it okay to keep a full mag full time? Won't wear this out the spring. You can leave it loaded. Again, it's about storage. The ammunition will go bad before the spring will if you store it wrong. But if you're storing in hot, damp climates, if your basement doesn't have good ventilation or your gun safe doesn't have good ventilation, I've seen plenty of rifles come in where they're corroded because they didn't have, the sense to not store their guns wet. But yeah, you can store your magazines loaded. I have several that are always loaded for my guns because, last thing you need to hear is your door kicking in and you're sitting there with an uplula going kunk, kunk, kink, kunk, 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 kink, kunk, 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 kink. I would recommend just shooting them out just for fun though, practice. You shouldn't be, I don't want to say this and have it come out wrong. I'm not a prepper. I don't believe in prepping. I have a go bag. I'm not a prepper, so I don't have 10,000 rounds in 600 mags laying there loaded, but I always keep a few mags for every gun loaded. Yeah, see, Richard says it right there. Utah's very dry, have mags loaded for over a decade. They cycle fine. Yeah, modern technology, spring technology. Spring is a memory metal unless you do something to change the fundamental structure of the metal, be it gets hot, gets wet, corrodes, things like that. A magazine spring will retain its elasticity over time unless there's an outward force that acts upon said spring. Compressing a spring by itself shouldn't destroy the spring. Probably should close that because it's playing Netflix in my background. Luckily, you can't hear it. Ooh. I wonder how many ends. Anybody buy grips from Amazon? Trying to see how many U's they have now. So you got Cool Hand, right? Cool Hand makes VZ style, and they make a lot of grip screws from like 1911 CZ75s and stuff. But this company, Gun, Guun, they're up to 3 U's. At one point they were at 2, and at one time they were 1 U and 2 N's, but now they're at 3 U's and an N. They make good grips, but they're just blatantly ripping off every other manufacturer. I don't care. I like their grips because on the 1911s they actually have a thumb grooves that goes through the entire grip. Hey kids, ask your mom and dad about docking. But yeah, I like their grips. I have a set of them on pretty much every 1911 I got. I mean, they come with the bushings, they come with the grip screws. If you have a low profile one, they'll even send you the inserts for the frame. Pretty decent company. All right, thoughts on smart individual with Glock switches? Do you approve or disapprove? Thoughts on smart individuals with Glock switches? Number one, 2A, we should have the right to own and bear whatever firearms we want. I know dudes that are faster than a lot of bump stocks and binary switches. If you're a responsible owner and you're not out there committing crimes, I think we should be allowed to have machine guns. That's a personal thing. Also, yeah, that's what I'm going to say. However, the people that are posting videos that are having these Glock switches are not the people that should have Glock switches. They shouldn't have guns because they're fucking morons shooting in the middle of the city, shooting at birds and shit in trees. Or they stop a car in a field and they just unload into a field without knowing whether or not there's a house at the other side of the field. Those people should not own guns. They should not own Glock switches. But I think if you're a responsible gun owner and you can conduct yourself in an appropriate and safe manner, there's no reason why a Glock 18C shouldn't be legal. That work for you, ATF man? That was my job, by the way. Let's see. Bought some for my Beretta M9A3, way too thick, G10s, and couldn't keep the gun. Yeah, no, Beretta is a difficult gun to put grips on. I actually have a company that keeps sending me grips. Hang on one second. Look at my computer because it's really good because I got to grab this. There we go. It's kind of a free plug because, you know, I did all the videos they asked me to, but this company out of Turkey sends me these things every now and then. And I believe these are actually for the Beretta 92. Check that out. They're actually pretty thin. Wood grips. I have a set on my ATI Moxie, those Raven grips. If you saw that shorts video with the blue grips, I sold that gun, but yeah, Zib. They actually make tape now. What's this? For Glockios. Yeah, so again, I'm not sponsored by them. They just send me these every now and then, and I check them out. But yeah, ZIB, they're on Amazon. Although somebody told me once that the Turkish Zib is actually like a self-act. Let me know if that's true. Jeffrey, thanks for the info. Very wet and dry hot spells here in Manila, Philippines. Yeah, so you got to find a way to store your firearms. Get a dehumidifier. If you have a gun safe and you can put a humidifier in it, if you have a way to run a cord through and you can keep it dehumidified, might be okay. 2A is right, not a privilege, but full auto is worthless besides just having fun at the range. Yes, Richard, I agree. If you, again, it's nothing for a private individual because you can't control it out of a pistol. You waste ammunition, and yeah, I agree. We should have the right to do it, but I think if everybody had the right to do it, we'd realize how stupid it is. Make sure you vote. I do. Those videos are crazy. Yeah, if you're talking about the ones where the idiots are out there just mag dumping Glock switch. Also, if you notice, they always run ETS extended mags that aren't fully loaded. You know, yeah. If we want to get into this with this whole two-way thing, you got guys like, well, I mean, the way he handled his situation was wrong, but CSR Firearms, CRS Firearms, the guy that's in Florida and he's in jail now because he was selling the auto key cards. He handled that wrong. And it's unfortunate that he's in jail because if he had sold them right, it was a novelty. But because he did things he shouldn't have, he got in trouble for it. If we were allowed to own machine guns, he wouldn't have gotten in trouble for it because what they were so specific that the use case for them didn't make any sense. But because of what he did, he got in trouble for it. Does that make sense? And it sucks because a guy's in jail that really, I mean, he was an idiot, but he wasn't dangerous. You know what I mean? But the ATF is using their time doing door knocks on houses that bought 3 guns in one day, even though they passed the background check. Maybe in Utah, we're going to get into this a little bit, and I'm trying to keep myself out of the thing, but I will say what I've seen in the gun business. The ATF profiles, which is illegal, but they profile, and they overreach when they're doing things. And then it's our fault when they screw up. Does that make sense? But I've never had a door knock, and one day I bought 14 guns. So, all right, enough of that political stuff. I don't want to get involved in that. I don't want to spend the rest of my life arguing for and against. We should have our rights. We should be able to do what we want. As long as we're not hurting anybody, everybody should just shut the fuck up. There you go. Sorry if I cuss and you don't like that. I noticed a lot of people ran away when I started talking. Intel Core Ultra versus Apple M3 Pro. Sorry, I'm a tech guy. You couldn't tell by the computer. Something's being held. Something's being held. Let's see what is held. Dun, 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 dun. Wow, my screen's way farther away than I thought. Yeah, you want to change that? Just, you know. Miss Crabtree. Miss Crabapple. Miss Crabapple. Why is that name familiar? Oh, yeah, it's a lady from The Simpsons that's dead. The actress, not the character. Where's the character dead, too? I know Maud died. That was a long time ago. ADD, man. I'm telling you. Look, a tree. Go up. So I know you have an interest in cars. Do you prefer one brand over the other, and why so? I grew up in a Chrysler household. My father loved his Chryslers, got me into Chryslers. When I started selling cars back in 2000, sold cars for nearly 20 years. But when I started selling cars, I got my first Camaro. I really loved third gen IROCs. I had a ton of IROCs and Firebird Trans Ams. American cars appeal to me because of their dumb nature in terms of ease of use as well as their lazy power. Like my current drive is a 2015 Durango RT Hemi, 75 miles an hour going down the freeway, 1300 RPMs, that 8-speed transmission. It's dumb simple, even though it is a ZF. It's a cheap transmission because they don't break. I can fix a Hemi with my eyes closed and a Bob the Builder toolkit. I respect Civics. I've had a bunch of Civics. I've had a bunch of Ford products. My favorite sports car was actually my GT Trackback Mustang. But I tend to veer towards Americanized products, but that also incorporates vehicles like Toyota Tundras, Nissan Frontiers, not Frontiers, but Titans. I like the V8 stuff. I'm also a person who, when I go to buy something, I tend to try to get the best version of that I can, and you get more for your money with an American vehicle than you do with a foreign vehicle, especially during COVID on the used market. Because during COVID, I traded my Chrysler 300 Hemi for a 2017 Ram Laramie with 30,000 miles, and I got a really good price on it. And then recently, I sold that, and I bought my Durango with the Hemi, and I got it for under 20K. So high mileage, but 20K one owner. American cars are so easy to work on. Yeah, exactly. Barbecue, you drive a Toyota. Again, there's nothing wrong with it. I helped my buddy. We got a Tiguan for his wife because she loves Volkswagen, and that's actually when I found my Durango. I almost bought another Mustang. He had a Mustang GT in 2013 that had 2015 performance pack wheels on it, and it was a premium. Mine was a track pack with just the 301 package on it, and I didn't buy that. It was between that, my Durango, and a Ford Edge Sport, but it was the older body style. It was a 2014, not a 2015, so I didn't go with that one. I wanted the twin turbos. Do you ever worry about the Hemi tick? No, because it's easy to fix. I was a mechanic for 15 years, so it's not hard. And in fact, next year, I'm trying to find a shop. Me and my buddy Daniel, we're trying to start an auto shop next year. Well, we're trying to start it now, but we don't have the place to do it because real estate is too damn expensive. But I'm going to be doing the 6.4 cam swap, and when you do that, you change out your cam and your lifters, which is what causes the Hemi tick. Your lifter flat spots, and then you get the tick. And yeah, no, I'm not worried about the Hemi tick. Plus, it just ticks. You got 16 spark plugs. Who cares if one's running a little rough? Got a Ram upstairs with 230,000 miles on it, and it breaks the spark plug every few thousand miles, but it doesn't have the tick. So yeah, see, you know what it was. So I went through all that explaining it, and you typed it out too. So we're on the same page. It doesn't always take out the cam. If you catch it right away, you can save it. It also affects certain generations. Like I've got a 15, so it's the Gen 3 Eagle. The Gen 2 is much more likely to damage the cam with the Hemi tick. The Gen 3 is not as prevalent. I'm not sure if it has anything to do with the variable intake or whatever the case may be. And also, I think my Durango was tuned because I don't have MDS. But I will say I had the most fun in a foreign car because in the early 2000s, Porsches were cheap. And I used to have a 944 Turbo that I got for like $1,500 at an auction. That thing was hilarious. Let's see. 14 to 19 6.4s are the worst. Pulled out your lifters and did the Hellcat lifters. Did not know that. Now I do. So I'll be doing an aftermarket set of lifters when I do the cam. I'm probably going to do the heads too. But yeah, I like my Hemis. They make good power. They're with the 8-speed transmission. I've got all-wheel drive and an 8-speed transmission, and if I do 75 on the freeway, I get like 21 miles to the gallon. So I'm good with that. It's the plastic cups that hold the lifters. Yep. It's crazy. You know why they have all those problems? Because that Hemi, along with basically every Chrysler from like 1993, when they first released the remodeled Intrepids and Concords and all those, they designed everything mechanically through CAD software. And CAD software is amazing. But unless the designer puts the failure in, it doesn't catch the failure, and then the vehicle will suffer a failure that's unintended. So those cups might have worked 100% of the time in computer simulations, but when they go out into the real world and people aren't changing their oil every 5,000, I change my oil every 5,000 miles. I keep my engine fluids fresh. I don't run 10,000 miles, even though the interval for the Hemi supposedly is 10,000 miles on mine. I don't run that long. I run 5,000 miles. It's super easy. I mean, the oil filter on the Durango is in front of the engine, and then the plug is right there. So change your damn oil. But yeah, I don't go long term between oil changes. Just basic maintenance, and I don't beat the shit out of my truck. I drive my vehicles. I don't beat them. That's always a big difference. Although my buddy Daniel has borrowed my car and we've used it to move his stuff 3 times, and so far I have 3 chips in my windshield, a hole in my front bumper, crack in my rear bumper, and battery acid in the back. So, friends. I know he's not watching this, and if he is, leave me a super thanks. Come on. What kicks do I have on, mate? I have socks. I'm not wearing shoes, dude. I don't have toes. Did I accidentally flash my foot when I was picking up my legs? No, I'm wearing socks. We're good. Yeah, I'm disabled, dude. I'm a double amputee. That is interesting. Your name's Kicks, and you asked me what kicks I had on. I see what you did there. Heat cycles and idling. Yep, every 5K, oil doesn't lose its viscosity. It gets dirty. Never bought the 12,000 mile oil like mopping a basketball court with one bucket. Eventually, you are pushing to. Yeah, absolutely. My Mustang, my GT. I broke it down because I am on TikTok. I did one gun video over there, and it got me like 1 million views and 10,000 subs over there. But my Mustang GT was the track pack, so I had the Boss coolers and everything in it, so it was 11.5 quarts because they had the remote oil filter or oil coolers, and I changed that oil every 3,000 miles for 150,000 miles. So I did 50 oil changes at $120 a piece, but it was worth it because that engine was perfect when I sold the car. I want that car back. If you're in Indiana and you have my car, give it back. What's the setup behind you? This is my computer. No problem. That's my play button that you guys helped me get. Thank you, by the way. But that is a R9. I haven't had a Ryzen in months. That is an i9 12900K RTX 4080, 32 gigs of RAM, and it's custom water cooled for the CPU because I like to put different graphics cards in there. So I have only water cooling on the CPU. Keeps everything nice and cool. And that's a TV on a stick. Just kidding, it's on a TV stand. Can you tell I'm using a tripod that I got from Amazon? Because it's earthquake. Jason, hey Joe, sorry for not being able to hop on any. Well, dude, I haven't really been doing scheduled live streams. I'm going to be changing that. I want you guys to give me your opinion on that. Do I do more live streams? I really don't want to do it if you guys aren't going to come and watch it. Sorry, I read your OnlyFans thing and it stopped my brain. But yeah, I want to do them more frequently, but I won't be doing it this Sunday because of Christmas. But I'm thinking Sundays and Wednesdays, or Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I don't know if you remember me. You made the joke about selling your body on OnlyFans. A lot of people make that joke to me. And I was going to put myself on Only Feet, but I'd have to give people half off because I'm a double amputee. You're in Virginia, right? Yes, Northern Virginia. Nah, but here's a more interesting question. Why does putting salami on a car bad for the paint? I'm being serious because I've heard of people doing that to deface cars. Acids. The acids in that. Also, one of the worst things you can do, and I did it as a kid. I was like 14, and we had this jackass of a manager at the grocery store that I'd started working at as a kid. We took eggs in the middle of a Minnesota winter, wrapped them in toilet paper, and egged his car. And the acids in the egg whites literally ripped the paint off his car. So it's acids. Anything with an acidic or alkaline base can eat your clear coat, which can damage it. And more cars nowadays have a water-based paint, so it can actually be affected more by acids. That's why bird shit can ruin a car. That's why most cars at dealerships don't get the paint protection, because they usually do it when they buy the cars for the dealership, because they get a lot of bird shit on cars, and so they'll put the paint protection on the cars, and then you pay them for it, and then they just wash the car. You want some secrets about the car business? Ask. I'll tell you. Dude's the king of DSMs is in Virginia. Jaffromobile. Jaffromobile. What is Jaffro? Mobile. You know, somebody else told me that same thing not too long ago. Ha! I got more subscribers. I don't know what I just said. DSMtuners.com. Hey, I'm just going to say I've been watching all of. Okay, no. That's just somebody talking about him. Jaffermobile fans. Does he? Oh, there we go. He's on Instagram. I'm on Instagram. You should go follow me on Instagram. It's the Jiminy Vine. Let's see. What are you doing to me? Oh, there it is. He's only got 31 posts. Seems pretty cool. Bet he should. Is that a turkey? Yeah, I was into some of the JDM stuff back in the day. No. What the? Where are you from? Okay, yeah, that was 3 years ago. Little. Sorry, I had to look that up. You sent me down a rabbit hole. I have ADD. Nice to meet you. I don't have ADHD. I'm 44. I have ADD. And then I'm picking up a 4080. Sweet. That's what this is. It's my Aggle. My screen. Oh, sorry. Because of this case, when it's vertically mounted, it's too close. Is that bad? It didn't like that. But yeah, that's my Aggle 4080. Settle down. Technology, it's almost like you shouldn't abuse it. Hi. How do you like the Durango RT compared to the Ram? When everything is complicated with me, nothing simple, I wanted to keep my Chrysler. I bought my Chrysler, I had 60,000 miles on it. I bought it during COVID. I screwed myself over. I sold a 2016 F-150 XLT crew cab, off-road package, body, FX4, all that stuff for $23,000 with 70,000 miles on it because I'm a dipshit and didn't realize COVID was going to happen. And I bought a Chrysler 300 Hemi, fully loaded. It was the S with the Hemi. And I had that car for a month. Some jackass rear-ended me at 40 miles an hour. If you go to Instagram, you'll see the picture. I drove home, so it wasn't as bad, but he fucked up my transmission and Chrysler wouldn't replace it. So I traded that in for the Ram. When I bought the Ram, I was looking at a 2023 Durango in Destroyer Gray, but it was a V6. I don't buy V6s. I don't buy base models. That's why I got rid of the F-150. It was the twin turbo, and I wanted the V8. I should have bought the King Ranch. But yeah, so I wound up buying the Ram, and I really liked it, but everybody but me used it as a truck. Everybody used it to move stuff except for me. I never used it to move anything I couldn't fit into a Durango. So just this year, 2023 comes along, the market starts coming back down. I'm working at the gun store and I'm like, dude, I should get rid of the truck while it's still worth money because it had 50K on it. So I take the truck and I get out of it, and it did cost me a few grand, but I got out of it for almost what I had into it. So I got out of that and I got into the Durango, and I'm into the Durango for like 18 grand. So I got a Hemi RT Durango, one owner. It's out of Maryland, rust free. If you ever saw underneath this thing you could eat off of it underneath it, and it's fully loaded, and I love it because it drives better and I don't have to carry big shit anymore. And except for, like I said, I let my buddy use it and I helped him, and every bit of damage on my car has come from helping him because, you know, that's what you do for friends and family. Now I need a bumper. Anyway, there's an ongoing discussion here on the use of WD-40 for gun cleaning. WD-40 is a lubricant, but it's also a water displacement formula. And it's funny because one of the more popular videos that I ever saw for people trying to debunk WD-40 for lubrication is when you he's pointing to the can and he says it's not a lubricant, and his finger's literally on the word lubricant. It is a lubricant. It has lubricity. Lubricity. Wow. Okay, so I lost it there. We still live? Okay. I don't know why, but my phone just dropped alive. appears we're still live. We still live? Hold on. Yep, we're still live. Okay, but it doesn't have the heat for guns. It doesn't lubricate and keep the lubricity long enough during the heat cycle. I personally, and I can show this because it's not a firearm, I'm a firm believer in, like, for my light oil, this is what I put on my rails and stuff. This is Wilson Combat gun oil. But I also have some of this stuff that Daniel let me have, some Frog Lube Extreme. Smells like peppermint toothpaste. Don't get that screwed up because I keep toothpaste in my center console. And then I also use Slip 2000. So I have a mix of different stuff, and I also have the gun grease from Wilson Combat. So I use a little bit of everything. So yeah, I do have a lot of shit laying around. So that's my take on WD-40. Use it in a pinch. I've used engine oil to lube an AR, but I don't trust it for a long term. Had a 98 5.9 Grand Cherokee. Oh yeah, the 360 was a great one. Kicks, hey, I'm 24 and I have ADD as well. The malfact. In fact, I was just looking up what you discussed with the acids ruining car paint, and it got you looking up some chemistry now, man. Look, dude, don't damage stuff on purpose. That's what we say. So, I don't know. I was about to burp and yawn. A yerp. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. So. Anyways, where are we at? What are we at? 2 hours? We're at 2 hours. That's a long time for me to stream. I don't know how much longer we got going. Anybody else got anything else you want to know about? Talk about? Get my opinions on? I have a lot of opinions. I mix gun oil with Lucas Oil Stabilizer. Try it. It works amazing. What does the Lucas Oil Stabilizer do to it? I mean, it's petroleum based. I reject your thingies. 100% petroleum program, eliminate dry starch and reduce friction, heat, and wear in any type. Gear oil, blah, blah, blah. Power strokes, blah, blah, blah. Let's see, does it give any of the breakdown of it? It reduces. Is it just a thicker stabilizing agent? It says it increases oil life at least 50%. I don't know if I trust that. Is the grease from Wilson Combat the only grease? Is the grease from Wilson Combat the only gun grease you prefer to use? It's the gun grease that I've gotten the best results for my 1911s with. Whether or not it's the best for, like, the transfer bars or any of the trigger bar springs, things like that, I can't say personally. But for my 1911s, I've used the Slip. I've used what is it? Birchwood, not Birchwood, Casey. They make the balloon shit. I've used a few different brands, but I prefer the Wilson Combat stuff just personally. Worked for a 3,000 10K RPM engine. Figured it works for a gun. Been doing it for years. If I run across some, I'll check it out. I've never really messed with mixing lubes and oils and stuff, but I mean, if it works, right? If it's successful, it ain't wrong. I prefer bacon grease. Then the gun smells really good when you're done shooting it. Don't listen to me. I didn't mean that. But yeah, all right. So we went a good 2 hours, I think. I think I'm getting down to the bottom of my wit and my humor. I'm just kidding. I got tons of this shit. But yeah, no, what I say is, like I said, I need you guys' response. The guns that have been here all this time, all 17 of you. Do I do multiple live streams every week? Do I do a couple every week where we just talk and shoot the shit? You guys can drink beers. I don't drink anymore. I'll tell you some of those stories. 10 Americans swap for an ally of Venezuelan president in Biden administration. Biden must have thought he was buying a sack of potatoes. Some guy found $13. Awesome. Thanks, good. Thanks, Richard, for contributing, having fun. I really like that. I gotta go work out anyways. Again, if fun stuff comes up, I'll talk about it. Make sure you check out the shorts. Make sure you get subscribed. I'm gonna be like one of those YouTube guys. I'm not a YouTuber. Also, never call me that. Don't call me that. But yeah, make sure you do that. Then you get notifications and stuff. I will watch Leave the World Behind because I like some fun stuff. And I gotta wait for 3 more hours till the next episode of Reacher comes out. But yeah, just let me know what you guys want me to do in the future. You can always leave me messages. I have my email listed, all that stuff. I'm so smart. I have lots of words in my brain hole. So where are we at? 2 minutes and 2 hours and. Me am not talk good. Me am in live stream. Me am go home. Me am home. Okay, me am go. My wife had to unfriend the Reacher main guy. He's woke as fuck. Talking about Alan Ritchson? That's weird. I mean, he's on testosterone. Is Alan Ritchson really woke? He looks like he enjoys a good musical. I'm taller than Alan Ritchson, by the way. I'm also older than him. Son of a bitch. List of movies. Hello. Oh, Jason, what the fuck? Thank you, bro. Love your videos. You help me piss off my fiance with informed gun purchases. Sorry, fiance. A well-armed and trained individual could save your life someday. Think about that. Dude, that's awesome. Thank you so much. She got into a 2A argument with him on Instagram. I'll have to check out his Instagram. But yeah, thanks, Jason. If you ever have any questions, feel free to ask. But yeah, that's funny. Love your videos. You help me piss off my fiance. Is it because you buy too many or you just keep buying good ones? Don't buy a Chiappa. Sorry, I should have whispered that. Don't buy a Chiappa. Shit. I don't do coke, I swear to God. Just this nostril just won't stop running. I have thermal compound in my thumb. But see, I can't even do coke if I wanted to. All right, guys. I love you all. Thank you so much for hanging out. You have 20-ish guns. Good for you. You know what we call that? A good start. Okay, I really got to go now. But thank you guys so much for coming to the live stream. We'll do another one before too long, and I really look forward to talking to all you guys. Even if it's just us same 15 people hanging out every time, I don't mind. I love it. It's fun. We have fun. I have fun. You have fun. We had fun. All right, just remember, Chiappa sucks. My left forearm hurts after about 300 racks for 100 rounds in bomb hour. I'm doing it wrong. Stock SDK. What? No. You need to do more. Repetition builds muscle. More. All right, Ryan, you got my number. You can text me. God dang it. Wait, that's Satan. That's I love you. That's Chick-fil-A's closed on Sundays. I'll talk to you later. This doesn't work. You still talking?